I think if we start paying attention more to business moves, then we can inspire people to pay attention more versus just paying attention to the gossip.
Right. It reminds me of that Magic Johnson quote where he says, it takes the same amount of time to get the $100,000 deal that it does to get the $1 million deal. You just negotiating.
Hey, we gonna talk billions on this one here. You know what I'm talking about? Big. Fuck this. I heard investment make the Forbes list. Amazon, the Rock Nation made investments himself. Go buy the building, don't be worried about the door split. Even if the mission get hard, you can't avoid it. You see me getting money, well, I'm just expressing myself. It's harder building on your own, you always welcome to help. Build a mastermind, group works in Napoleon Hill. You know.
All right, cool, man. We back again for another amazing episode of Change Agents. My name is Caleb.
I'm Trav.
You know what I'm saying? Today we have the legendary Rob Markman, man. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling better now that I'm legendary. I ain't know I was legendary before, man. I just work hard.
I get tired of it.
Come on, man.
I've been arguing with Rob for at least 8 years about him being a legend. And he always like, nah, man, I just help people, man.
But like, I feel him though. When your head down and you grinding, bro, you not thinking about the accolades. You not thinking about the titles. You just working.
Yeah, but let me give you
That's what I'm saying.
the flowers.
I took the flowers. I said I feel better now that I'm legendary. I'll accept it. It's a good space to be in.
My guy is here.
What's up, man? What's up, man?
I'm gonna go early with my confession. I don't even know if you know this.
Okay.
We don't get the studio without Rob. You know this. So I'm sitting in Wellstar Cobb Hospital. You know, I was in the medical field.
Yeah.
I'm already managing. Well, we don't get it without Rob in 2 ways, but I'm gonna go the first way. So
I got you.
I'm managing Steve, and you know, stuff started to move. This is before I even told you about it.
Okay.
This is just me like brainstorming.
Right.
So, and I always used to do this with Rob. Rob is the first person in the entertainment industry to ever take me under his wing, ever give me any kind of like real relationship. This is my first real relationship in the game, right? Yeah. So I asked Rob everything. Even when he ain't got time, I'll shoot him a million texts and he always get back to me, right? So I'm like, yo, Rob, I think, you know, we left Mass Appeal and, you know, I'm like, we got to figure something out, but I got to figure something out because I can't just be dependent on record sales and, you know, Steve, we going to push it as much as we can push it, but we got to figure something out.
Right.
So I told him about the idea of getting a creative space and how to do it and how I wanted to do media and do, you know, have the production in-house and all of that.
Yeah.
Very first thing he said before I even sent him, he was like, you do everything else. Why you can't do it? He was like, if you don't, I remember his exact word, he was like, if you don't think you can do it right now, then stop talking about it.
Yeah.
But if you could do it, go do it.
Go do it.
And that's what happened.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
So I got to give you those flowers.
Rob Markman, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it.
But for me, it was going to happen anyway. Like you was talking about it, so like it was going to, like, this whole thing was destined to happen. I thought it was an amazing idea, particularly being like in Atlanta. We talk about this all the time, Atlanta being the hub, the home for our culture, our music, like the city really being the beacon. Look, and this is New Yorker telling you that. You know what I'm saying? But
I love when they have to say it.
Nah, but it's not even have to say it. It's like
shout out Brooklyn.
You tell the truth. Like New York's always gonna be New York.
Yeah.
But yo, you got to tell the truth and you got to acknowledge it. And I'm not threatened by that, and anybody who's threatened by that is weak. But it is what it is. But for so much music to come out of here, it still doesn't feel like the media coming out of here is respected enough. You know, and for real, like, I feel like rappers need to come here before they come to New York. Like, how you gonna do a press run in New York when you ain't come here first?
Yeah.
To HBUC specifically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With what y'all building. So I'll be feeling proud too. And then when I see the interviews y'all doing, whether it be, you know, Chris Brown remix interview, video, like
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon was big, like
Corday.
Yep. So
it be but I'm still like, like Rob is like my big brother, so I still be like excited to tell him like, yo, look what we did. Like, look what I did today. So, and then the second way we got it is, Rob is like, you know, I'm a student of the game.
Yeah.
So I knew what brand deals was. We talk about all the time. Jay-Z last 5 albums or 6 albums or whatever been brand deals. But Rob gave me my first brand deal. And then that's what made me realize, okay, outside of, you know, the regular metrics of a rapper selling records and streaming and going on tour, there's real money here. So the first deal we did was Steve, he got Steve to do this Cantrell to do this HP deal. So HP had a new computer coming out and they needed a up-and-coming artist, up-and-coming producer, and I think Offset and Mike Will was like the mentors. So Rob brought us that, and I just really was like, yo, they doing these kind of things. I thought you had to be on Jay-Z level to get these even looks. Forget the number.
Right.
I just thought you had to be there to get them looks. And like, I just really want people to understand how many looks he does for people like that spark so many other things that they do in this game. Right. So that's the second set of roses. I think we're gonna
that's
be
real.
It's a lot. I got 2 hands, but yeah, that's a part of my career. So much gets talked about, but I mean, I don't talk openly about it because that's business deals. Like, I don't really need to divulge other people's business. It's not just me, but I do a lot of brand deals in terms of connecting the right artist with the right brand for the right content, and there's checks involved. You know, hey man, you know, I'm talking about millions and millions of flow through me. Like, you know what I'm saying? 6 figures at a time and up, you know what I'm saying, artists. And it's cool. Like, I'm not.
But it's to be commended though, because like artists, like creatives and artists go through periods where even the best artists go through periods where they don't make money.
Yeah.
Those brand deals.
Especially 2020, especially during the pandemic when that happened, because we shot that over Zoom.
Yeah.
So the brand deals just help them kind of keep afloat.
Yeah. But, you know, I know that it's part of me being a creative, part of me being an artist myself. Like, I know the economics of it. I know when the money dry up, I know, but also the opportunities and you know, a lot of people was like, oh man, I need a brand deal, I want a brand deal, but also the thing is the right brand. It's the right artist for the right brand. It's the right thing that you're not selling yourself out for a check. That for something that's inauthentic. Like, at the end of the day, we talking about money and getting bread, and I know we're in a hustle culture, but it's also about authenticity, because the wrong brand deal could ruin an artist. Right. Because then it comes off as inauthentic, and then you can't get that next one. Because now you look like you just for sale. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you know, a lot goes into putting those together. Like, it's more than just, you know, like people be like, or think you the plug. Yo, plug me up. Nah, it's more than that. You got to have some motion going on. You got to have some type of
discernment.
Yeah. And it got to have brand connectivity.
Right, connectivity.
Yeah. That's the key thing, chemistry.
Yep.
How do you, and we talk every day, and this is something I'm still amazed at. How do you stay so original and so like centered? You've been in this game. This game will drive you mad, bro.
6 months in this game, dude. It can take you there, you know. You X amount of years in, like how do you stay like motivated to keep going?
I mean, it's new levels every day, you know. But really the passion and the love for it. Like, I've definitely had my days where it's just frustrating, where I've had enough, where I feel like I can't get through the day, where it just feels like, bro, I'm about to rip my hair out. But that's usually when the politics come into play, right? That's usually like everything else. And when I get to that point, I just start focusing on the reasons that I got into this game. I start focusing on the things that I love. And like, all right, I got to lead with my heart more. You know, there's some days where I'm like in Zoom meetings back to back, and it's not really the work that I love doing. So it's like, man, okay, it's too much. Where do I find the time to actually do the stuff that I love to do? So it's not letting like the politics get to you too much. But I mean, they're definitely there, and I've had my days.
Yeah. So like going through the shifts and like just journalism in general, like what do you say has been the key thing that's helped like the shift currently, like the current shift in like I guess journalism and hip hop in general.
Right.
Yeah.
You talking about me personally, or like where we are in the game?
Where we are in the game.
We're in a terrible spot, dog.
Yeah.
Like, journalism is in a terrible, and there's absolutely people out there doing it, but you know, one, I think it starts with the audience.
Yeah.
I don't think the audience can discern good journalism from bad journalism.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know that the audience wants journalism anymore. I think a lot of the audience wants entertainment.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think the audience knows what they want.
Right.
That's another thing too.
So, but and that also goes back to you having to know who you are.
Yeah.
Like, I could be entertaining. Like, you know, if you watch, I feel like I'm always probably out of pocket on we have a new show on Amazon Music on Twitch called Rotation Roundtable with Speedy, Nyla Simone, Gabe P, and myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm always turning up, maybe. Like,
turned up yesterday.
When I look at the social clips, I'm like, damn, boy, you was fired up. and I guess there's a part of that that's entertaining for people. So yeah, man, like I you know, we turn up a little bit, but I never say nothing I don't mean. I never say nothing that I can't stand on. I never say nothing that when I go outside that I got to duck and hide because I can't stand behind what I said.
Right.
And even when I say things, the opinion-based things is rooted in fact. It's rooted in me knowing what the hell I'm talking about.
Right.
You know, we're in this thing where it's so accessible now. Everybody has a camera. Everybody has a YouTube. Everybody has the ability to stream via Twitch, via YouTube, you know, posting on Instagram, whatever, where it's like everybody has a voice and there's all this stuff out. But a lot of people, I just don't think have the journalistic integrity or even the skills or the ability to look. I done seen things about myself. Like it tripped me out. Like, I mean, it ain't no secret. Like, we get to the shits. Like, I definitely, like, there was some waves when, you know, Elliot was on Twitter and I responded and I threw energy out there that one, a lot of people ain't really used to seeing from me, but whatever I said what was real and what I felt at the time. And me and him talk, it ain't no smoke. He understand where I'm coming from. I understand where he coming from. Like, shout out to Elliot.
Yeah, shout out Elliot. It's all love.
But I seen, my point being is not that. But then I seen YouTube analysts start breaking it down. Rob said this about Elliot. Rob is mad because of this.
Videos.
Yeah, all the response videos. And I'm like, y'all don't know what y'all talking like. Y'all don't.
They just
like,
take stuff and run with
it,
man.
And this ain't. So it was funny to me. And then, you know, I'm also of that era, and I don't know that I would have done it. But when you report on something, I'm that old school journalist when you got to reach out and at least get a no comment. You know what I'm saying? Before you kind of run off. But it's a lot of theories that happen, and you see that happen all the time. And it was a trip for me every time I'm a part of something like that. Somebody thinks they know what I said.
But if one of them reached out, would you have given them a comment? And in the old traditional way?
No. Probably not. Not in this. And people have reached out, like, but Ice reached out, like, but they wanted to call me and talk about it, and it wasn't just something that I was interested in talking about. I had spoke to Elliot about it. I spoke a little bit about it on my platform. Also, like, I got my own platform, so I'm gonna go
somewhere else,
and I'll just do it. And we didn't even get into it so much on our own platform because it wasn't, I think, as big as it was. I guess it was. Like, I'm not being, but it wasn't as big as people made. I was like, oh, this is like really big. Like,
nobody expected that from you.
Yeah.
And I think,
but you know how I get down, like, in my real life. Like, it wasn't fake energy.
I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, it wasn't fake energy. It was just like, I'm professional most of the time. Like, but you know, I'm from Flatbush, Brooklyn, so sometimes it's that side kind of come out as well. And we're passionate about it.
And sway. And you know what, the most heartbreaking point, and I know we get old, and you know, as you get older, you want things to stay one way, and the kids gotta have their round to set the table, right? No pun intended. But I think the journalist part is the most heartbreaking for me because I wanted to be y'all.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to be Rob Markman. I wanted to be Sway. I wanted to be Elliot. I wanted to be Angie. I wanted, not only did I want to be them, I wanted to talk to y'all for so long throughout my upbringing because I cared about the facts of the story.
Right.
Like, I wanted to know who Mino was when Jay-Z dissed him. Like, I wanted to know the intricacies of what the rhymes was about, what the culture was about. Bro, we read magazines cover to cover. Like, I got Rob, I could tell you my top 5 Rob interviews before I met him. and give you like quotes from it.
That's
like
crazy.
I remember where I was when he.
Bro, I remember seeing like articles you written in barbershops, bro, back home.
That's
like
crazy.
you know what I'm saying, as a like teen, bro, for real.
But it mattered. Like I don't look at hip hop news now.
Yeah.
Like it gotta be connected to somebody or something that I know or care about.
Right.
I don't care who the publication is because I don't feel like they care about the facts no more.
Well, right. And there's a couple things going on. First of all, I want to say, like, just you be like, yo, I want to be Rob, I want to be Angie, I want to be. I mean, I grew up idolizing Angie too. Every time I get to kick it with her, I just saw her at the Book of Hove event, the opening party that they had, and speaking to Angie, I'm like, damn, speaking to Angie Martinez, like we cool, but I'm still like, damn, that's it.
It's still that, you know what I mean?
But I want to say, for all that aspirations, and I feel grateful to be in that group that you named. But the beautiful part is that you're Travis.
Yeah.
Like, and you forging your own path. Like, first of all, you're doing it right now because you're sitting on y'all show.
Yeah.
And we at the HBUC, like it's in a different way of me. You know what? Because what I never had, or what I don't even currently have, is my own creative space, my own collaborative space. So what I'm saying is you're doing it, you're on the path, but it's different. You're gonna forge your own path. You're already doing things that I never did. Or things that I never, and that's the beauty of it. Like you adapt to what's in front of you.
Yeah.
And journalism, as it is, when you said, well, you care about the facts, like, you know, what we also have to acknowledge, because we talk about a lot of the personalities, and we try to blame it on like a lot of people try to blame it on academics, and I don't have a problem with that. It is not, that is not the way I approach it. But act filled the void. Again, for what the people wanted. Again, it goes back to the audience. The audience demand creates the business for this. So a lot of people get mad at ACT. And again, and very clear, and ACT knows this. We spoke about it once or twice. I don't know him like that. We've had a couple of interactions. My style is way different. I can't be academics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He got to be that. He got to live with that. But the audience created that. The business created that. So that's one. The other thing that we have to acknowledge why journalism and the factual base and all of that stuff isn't where it is these companies and corporations are divesting in
bullshit.
XXL, no, like they're taking the money out of it.
The old
like when I was writing at XXL and I was on staff at XXL, did an interview, transcribed my interview, right? Wrote a first draft, and then had somebody edit it. Responded to the edit, second draft. Like, we might go to 3 or 4 drafts before that thing go to print. 3 to 4 drafts, and then the copy editor has to look at it to make sure that the copy is right and all the grammar is correct. 3 to 4 drafts plus a copy editor, and then the fact checker had to look at it before it went to print. But that's a whole business, right? Now when you look, you could tell the health of a magazine always by the thickness. If you remember in the early 2000s and 90s, Source was literally, they said it was the Bible of hip hop. It was like the Bible.
Books.
Yeah.
But you had to go to 20 pages of ad. You had to get through the Jordan ad, the South Pole ad, the LRG ad before you get to the first page.
Right. Then Jay came and bought 9 Rockaway ads.
9 Rockaway ads, right.
when you start to see magazines and print magazines getting thinner and thinner, that was because there was less ads. That tells you about the health of the business.
Yep.
So once the money stops coming in, these positions get let go. So now when we're doing digital, it's like, we don't need a edit. We don't need round of edits. Why don't we need round of edits? Because we don't have a month to get this article out. We got to get this up quick.
Got to be up by tomorrow.
So it got to be up in 20 minutes. Something just happened.
Yeah.
TMZ just broke this shit. Now we got to write this. You got to write it, and there's no who's gonna edit it. No, you self-edit. You know, I was at times at XXL and MTV doing digital, and it was like, no, you got to edit yourself. And sometimes we just use the buddy system, like, yo, can you just check over my work? Like the person sitting next to you, but there wasn't
in the writer room. You still need fresh eyes,
of course. Yeah. Like, so there wasn't a system for editing. I don't know, and magazines and newspapers still have this, but there were people whose job it was to fact check. Who's the fact checkers now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's fact checking nothing. The internet, the technology, and the business kind of eliminated this. A lot of the big companies divested from journalism. MTV News said they shutting down. I used to work at MTV News. Like, MTV News was a journalistic place. You just couldn't write anything and put it up at MTV News.
Right.
Like, you followed the core tenets of journalism.
Even the on camera TV news.
Yeah, we still
Kurt Loder and all.
Yeah, we still had to have a certain thing about us.
Yeah.
So these companies are divesting now too. So it's also, you know, like so what's gonna happen? So now these kids is doing it from their home, and they don't necessarily have the education or the training. They haven't been through it. They don't have the mentorship to kind of know the right way to do it. They just doing it the way they see everybody else doing it.
Yeah.
And if the audience is clicking and responding, well, why would I switch it up?
Yeah, there's a lot of articles out there with typos in there.
Well, you said it. We lost the culture.
Yeah. I'm the type. Here's the other thing, and shout out to all my editors, right, especially in print. I'm the typo fucking kid. Like I could write a story like beginning, middle, end, get the words, get the feeling, like da-da-da. Like that's my superpower.
Yeah.
I can't spell for shit. I still fuck up trying to spell like experience every time. Like it's certain words
that just don't ever look right.
Be kicking my ass every time.
Chauffeur get me every time.
Yeah, like it's certain words, and so but I had editors who make shit look good. You know what I'm saying?
Mind you, everybody, this is before autocorrect for the 2000 and up, baby. This is before all that. Like we had to actually.
I ain't that old. We had all the. I ain't that old.
It didn't have a slang in it yet though. It just had straight Webster.
Yeah. So but none of that exists. So I'm not downplaying anybody who has typos in their shit.
Yeah.
What that says to me, you may be a great writer with typos, but we don't have a system for editing and making sure that this thing is presentable. You know what I'm saying?
I think I think it's gonna come back around to a certain extent because like it's getting as I'm from the South, as the old grandma would say, we done ran amok.
Yeah.
So like now they're even fact checking tweets on the political fronts. I think that's going to trickle off into culture at some point too, because things are just becoming too.
I hope so. When it goes too far, you also got to look outside of music and entertainment journalism. Is look at the attack on journalism in this country. Period. On the political spectrum, you know, and it's specifically in the Trump era. You know what I'm saying, with the fake news and the this and that, and you know now like. Now they got AI writing shit and stuff like that. Like you don't know what's real.
You don't know what's real. You don't know who's real. Like and I hate that. And you know we got the strike and we got people who are affected by that. And I like technology, but at a certain point, even like now, I don't read digital books.
Right.
If I'm gonna read a physical book, like as much as I love technology is all around us. It's certain things that you just got to be willing to put the time into. And make it not convenient.
Yeah.
But another thing I want to touch on, you talked about your superpowers. Dog, you write for Marvel.
Yeah.
How is that?
I've written for Marvel. I don't actively
you actively write. Until they tell you not to come back, you actively write.
I've written for Marvel.
Royalties still come in.
I've written for Marvel.
How was that? Because I know you're a comic book kid.
Yeah. Now I grew up on comic books. My first job ever was in a comic book store in Brooklyn called Brain Damage. Like I lived by it. Carlos Rosario, who owned the store, rest in peace, had the illest collection out of anybody in New York in terms of who owned stores. So that was my first job. I was making $3 an hour, and I think he kind of hired me. My man Damian Scott worked there, and I think just to make sure that the neighborhood kids wouldn't steal from the store.
Yeah,
I knew a lot of them, so it was like, okay, Rob and Damian working there. Like we're not gonna
hit them.
Yeah. So, but. Yeah, man. So it's always been a passion of mine, and shout out to Chris Robinson, who's an editor now at Tapas, which is a digital comic book space. But I met him. He was at Marvel at the time, and he had first hit me when Marvel was doing the hip hop variant covers, where they would like doing like turning like 50 Cent Get Rich or Die Trying into an Iron Man cover and things like that. They had did a hardcover book. Yeah. Yep, they had did a hardcover book, and they were getting different people to write on the sleeve about Marvel and hip hop culture. So like they had like Peter Rosenberg, they had like Killer Mike, I think, had wrote something like. So they was like, "Yo, we want to get a quote for you for the hardcover book." I was like, "Oh, this is amazing." Okay, and we had just stayed in touch. And then Chris, when Black Panther came out, Chris was like, "Yo, man, we got tickets for you for the premiere." I'm like, "Oh shit, this is dope." He's showing just mad love, and then he had a book that he was doing called Marvel Voices, which was based off of a podcast by Angelique Roche under the Marvel umbrella. And it was all about like giving creators of color a platform to write because traditionally comic book creation has been such a white space. And, you know, I think it's stigmatized amongst people of color, amongst black and brown people, like nerd culture. But we was into it. Like, what kid didn't want to be Spider-Man? What kid didn't want to be, like, we all saw Batman when it came out. Or, you know what I'm saying?
My favorite person was a Joker.
Yeah, but you different. I see why you at. So anyway, so Chris, he did this Marvel Voices, and he called me, and he said, yo, I got 2 pages. It was just a 2-page story. But he's like, you can pick any character you want. You can write anything you want. And he gave me that space, so I wrote a Silver Surfer story, which I'm super proud of. Like, I think it was amazing. So the chance to write for Marvel was like a dream come true. I ain't gonna lie.
I have my copy, by the way.
You don't?
Nope.
I got it for you in the crib. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's all, I sent it to you, man. Like, also from what I got paid for it, I ain't gonna lie. I went to every comic book store I could, and them bitches was on the shelf. Give me all that. I bought everything. All the money that they paid me to do the shit, I gave it right back. I got like 80 copies of that bitch.
Damn.
Like,
that's what happened when you love it, though.
When I was moving, I was going through my comic books. I was moving my comic books. I just recently bought a new crib, and I was like, I got too many copies of this shit. What the hell was I thinking? But I was just so proud. Like, damn, man. Like, so that was dope. And I've written a story for DC before that. Shout out to my man Damian Scott, my best friend who I grew up with, who gave me the opportunity. He's like he's a comic book artist. Like, he's in the space. Yeah. Like, he's an amazing artist. So, you know, some of the opportunities.
So he's an illustrator.
Yeah. He's drawn Batgirl. He actually was a co-creator on. If people saw the Birds of Prey movie with Harley Quinn, and
I love Harley Quinn.
There's a character, Cassandra Cain, who was the kid that Harley Quinn had to protect. Mm-hmm. And in the comic books, Cassandra Cain grows up and becomes the Batgirl, the current Batgirl. And Damian is a co-creator on that. So even just going to the movies and seeing my man's name in the credits, they had to credit him in that DC movie. And he got a little check off.
He got a little check off, I'm sure,
for that. So yeah, my man Damian Scott, like, amazing illustrator, dope artist, man. And so yeah, he put me on, and I got some opportunities through him too. But it's a passion of mine.
I don't think people realize how many subcultures are attached to hip hop.
Right.
Like comic books, wrestling, even at one point BMX, skateboarding, like all of these subcultures. Like, that's why I always say we was born in the best era. I don't think the next, I could be biased,
right,
but the next era won't experience like true passion for things that didn't necessarily have to be about money.
Yeah.
Like, we loved movies not because Eddie Murphy was rich. Yeah. Like, it just was great movies.
Yeah.
So those are the type of things that I wanted to write. So you get to write all these things.
Yeah, I got comic books that I bought as a kid that I literally bought off the newsstand for $1 that's worth $5,000 now. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And it wasn't, it wasn't speculating. It was like, man, I fucking love this shit.
Right.
First appearance of Deadpool, first appearance of Cable, first appearance of Carnage, first appearance of Venom. Like, all this shit. You just got it because it was the new Spider-Man.
So you know all the storylines of like where they're gonna go now?
Yeah, when I watch the movies, like, I kind of know because I know the reference points.
Does it ruin it?
Nah, because they changed it up a lot. Like Infinity War, Avengers Endgame was based off of a comic book called Infinity Gauntlet.
They shot that here.
Yeah, in Atlanta.
No, here.
Oh, here in this spot?
Yeah. So we got a picture of like the Endgame where he's walking in.
Yeah.
He's walking through the warehouse space and it's right in front of our building.
You gotta show me that.
Yeah, I'll show it to you.
I'll geek out over that. But it was based off a comic book called Infinity Gauntlet, which I remember copping in real time when I was a kid. And they changed the movie. The movie is actually better than the comic book. Like, if you go back and read the comic book, but the movie is actually better than the comic. A lot of times the books be better than the movies.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, it's dope as hip hop. Like, you know, we're multifaceted. Like, yeah, it's some days I feel like rest in peace. It's some days I walk around and I'm in a bad mood and I feel like Prodigy from Mobb Deep. Like, and that just be my attitude. But that's not, you know, look, Wu-Tang, man, Inspector Deck. Swinging through your town like your neighborhood spider, man. Like, or Method Man's name was Johnny Blaze also. Like, one of the joys for me a lot of times.
Tony Stark.
Like, I post my comics and then to see other rappers or producers or like Pete Rocker hit me, oh shit, you got that one, I got that one too. Or Just Blaze to hit me like I'll post my shit just because I'm just happy. I'm not even trying to have no smoke with nobody.
Yeah.
And Just Blaze be like, or Guru too. Guru and Just Blaze, those Rockefeller boys is bullies. Guru would hit me like,
take everything personal.
He'd be like, boy, you better put that shit away before I start showing mine. I'm like, well, damn, I didn't know we was bad.
I just can't like my comic.
Yeah.
Shout out to Guru, though.
But I ain't no punk neither, so Guru, this is my camera?
Yeah, you're right here. You're right.
Whatever you want to do, fam. Like
I'm here for it.
I got smoke. I'm not gonna run. Like one time me and Pete Rock was having a comic book battle, just like I got this one, I got this one. And Just Blaze was just like, yo, y'all need to relax before I pull out my shit. Man,
y'all should do like a mini convention, dog.
Yeah, we working on it. We talked about it.
Do a comic book versus.
We talked about it. Me and Pete Rock had like a mini one
on live.
Yeah, man. We did like he has a podcast. Pete Rock has a podcast with Tat Wizard and Mickey Fax, and they asked me to come on.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, I kind of sucker punch Pete. Because I had all my heat, and I was like, Pete, you ain't got this one. And Pete only had...
Draw four.
Yeah. He only had what was in arm's reach, so I ain't gonna lie. Like, I beat Pete up real bad that episode, but I kind of sucker punched him. And then Just Blaze saw us carrying on, and Just Blaze was like, oh, no, y'all want no smoke with me.
I don't know.
And me, I can't take a L. I'm like, nah, bro, you can't.
Hey. Yo, Just was like a maniac.
Nah, Just
is a maniac, dog. Like, video games and comic books, he might give you a run.
Yeah.
I'm about to do that. I'm about to do that with New Face.
Yeah.
Just on magazines. No, not he gonna smoke me on memorabilia as a whole.
Shout out to New Face.
But if we go XXL, Source, even a little Vibe, you know what I'm saying? We go on those, I think I got him. Like, because I went to his house to do this show with Elliot, and I saw like his heaters. And I'm like, oh, I got that. You missed that one. Like, I'm looking at his timeline, man. I got a few, I might have you, dog. But everything else, he's smoking. Right. He got like Hard Knock Life on cassette.
Right. That's hard.
You can't really.
Shout out to New Face.
You can't really.
New Face helped me out one time because I was interviewing Wale with Genius when he dropped his Shine album. And it was in front of an audience. And I was looking for some iceberg, but like some vintage iceberg. Like, I'm all about when iceberg was popping, I couldn't afford it. So now that I got a little change
and a Vizu I used to be so mad.
I'm trying to get all the shit that I could. So I was like, I'm looking for some iceberg something. I think I had put it out there, and New Face was like, I got you. And he sent me his iceberg sweater, a little Tom and Jerry iceberg sweater that he had. So I rocked that for that Wale interview. And it was funny. New Face was like, yo, you could just keep it. Like, it's all good. I said, nah, I can't do that. I dry cleaned it. I sent it back to him. I felt bad. Yeah. But now I kind of want to hit him up because I think I'll buy it from him.
You might want to get it while you're here.
But shout out to New Face. Like, he looked out for me, man. That's my guy.
That's the homie.
Speaking of Rockefeller, we got a new segment. We got a new segment called Musical Chairs, right? The new Musical Chairs is like all these business execs. Like, I'm watching all this stuff, right? Especially everything Jay-Z do. Yeah, so Musical Chairs is about, I want to, outside of just having great conversations, we're trying to figure out how to give the business of changing things. Right. So like, you have to pick a business person or a creative person that just made a dope move in their career that you like.
Wow. First of all, we got to acknowledge this rain. I kind of feel like we never lied to the audience, so if y'all hear some background noise or whatever, it's just rain. It's just Missy Elliott, man.
You're going to see how good our engineer is. That's all.
My bad. Y'all can cut that out, but if y'all end up and you can't get the rain out, now there's an explanation for it.
Perfect. All right, cool. Appreciate it.
So some musical.
They don't have to be music. It's just music, just them making moves and moving around. I'll go first.
Okay. Yeah, I need an example.
I'm using Robert Smith. Robert Smith is the richest black man in the world, by the way. He just sold one of his companies for $4.6 billion. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm looking at the stuff that he's doing and comparing it to the stuff that Jay-Z's doing and comparing it to the stuff that Puff's doing. And I'm like, these are deals that the companies are bigger, but these are the same deals that we're doing in culture every day. Like, you went from just being in print to going to Genius. One of my favorite deals of yours. When you went to Genius, I was all DMing you every day. But I think if we start paying attention more to business moves, then we can inspire people to pay attention more versus just paying attention to the gossip.
Right. It reminds me of that Magic Johnson quote where he says, it takes the same amount of time to get the $100,000 deal that it does to get the $1 million deal. You just negotiating.
Yeah.
Yep.
On a different
I
level.
was going to use him because he just made a deal too. Right. You got yours?
I mean, we could do magic. Honestly, like, he just a pioneer. He just bought what team?
First
the
black
Commanders?
NFL owner.
Yeah. It's the Commanders, I think.
Yeah, it's the Washington.
Yeah.
Washington. Is it the
It's
Commanders?
not the Redskins no more. It's the Commanders.
Don't say Redskins. I ain't trying to get flagged. And then if you don't have one, then we go to the next one.
I'm thinking about one. Maybe recently what I saw that impressed me, J. Cole, and I know it's a minority stake. We're not talking about the same kind of numbers. I think J. Cole buying into a group or being invested into a group, I'm not sure what the deal is, that owns the Charlotte Hornets.
Yep.
I thought was pretty dope considering because it's all authentic. Like the business is great, right? I might not be the most keen business person, right? But it's always dope to me when it's part of your story. When the business lines up, it was what we were kind of talking about earlier with the authenticity and the connectivity of it. So if you just know J. Cole's story about St. John's and the team and the warm up and, Friday Night Lights and sideline story and then him playing for the league in Africa, you know what I'm saying? And him wanting to get basketball off to then being part of this ownership group that owns the Charlotte
all
Hornets.
his albums being themed that way.
That's dope. That's dope to me. So shout out to Cole. I ain't seen or spoke to him in a long time, man. It's been a minute, man. But
and to buy it from Michael Jordan.
Yeah, bought it from Jordan.
Yeah.
That bar is gonna be crazy. Like we were talking on Twitter, like what's that bar gonna be about? But also having his own Puma sneaker, having his own thing, like just to be able to realize those dreams for real is dope to see. And stuff like that inspires me because I'm like, oh, this is possible. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of stuff I'm doing now that I didn't think was possible, and that there was definitely people told me you can't do that. You ain't never gonna do that. And
what's your favorite business deal?
Of who?
Of yours.
That I did? I ain't gonna lie, man. Shout out to Amazon.
I knew it.
Shout out to Amazon Music.
Shout out to Amazon Music, man.
Still trying to. You done had an Amazon Music deal?
Yeah.
You done had a couple? Hey,
Amazon,
why y'all say fuck me
Amazon took care of it too, bro.
Why you say fuck me for?
But just being down with the team that kind of gets it, and it's just been a dope ride. Like that's probably right now. It's the one that I'm currently in the midst of. So nice. I love we in the honeymoon stage. I pray that this lasts forever. Like we doing dope shit together.
Well, you clearly know how to keep the relationships going.
Yeah, well, we got the show Rotation Roundtable, and I'm doing Rap Rotation Radio in DJ mode. Yeah. We're doing city sessions. I just kind of wherever they need me, like I'm there and repping the brand. They do an amazing job. But also, that's one. But really, probably my favorite or the nearest and dear to me was Rest in Peace to Hovain. It's a play that he put together for me to make my own company, Right to Dream Entertainment. And what prompted that was, I always did music. I was always, even when y'all was reading me in XXL, I had records on the blogs on Two Dope Boys and on Smash and Nah Right. And I was told that I couldn't do both because it was a conflict of interest. And it was hard for me at that time. But when I decided to put out my first album in 2017, it's because I did a freestyle on the Breakfast Club, and Hovain was like, yo, we could get you a deal, right? And I was like, man, fuck out of here. And Hovain went in and put together something, and I put out my first record through Empire Distribution.
Shout out to Ghazi.
Shout out to Ghazi. Shout out to Nima, man. It was amazing the way it was a dream come true for me. And so what happened was, did that deal, and now the money's coming in, and I'm like, well, am I going to take this as personal income, or do I got to set up my business? So I set up Right to Dream Entertainment as a business.
Yeah.
And now, like, I own something that's mine, and the company is doing quite well. I'm able to do payroll and start doing things and really getting entrenched in the business and not just being a face, not just being a creative, but being a business person. Yeah. So shout out to Empire, shout out to Ghazi and Neva. Rest in peace to my brother Hovain, who saw that vision for me when I ain't believe it. When he told me we could get a record deal, I was like, fuck out of here. And he's like, watch. And so rest in peace to Hovain, man.
I didn't know if I was gonna bring Hovain up just because, like, to the mood of it. But you know, Hovain, you can't be sad long, dog. But he was just a miracle worker, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't meet Hovain without you.
Yeah.
I never forget. It was the Kanye show at the Garden. I had the box and I invited Rob, and Rob had got double booked or something. He had to go to a wedding. I think you had to go to a wedding for your cousin or something like that. And he was like, "Well, my man Hovain want to come. Is that cool?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he can come." And Hovain came by himself. Me, a couple friends was in there, and he just was like, he was Hovain from the day I met him. And then we left, and this is early. So what's this, 17?
Yeah.
This before your album
Yeah, this before the album dropped.
So this might be 17, 16?
16, 17, yeah.
He took care of me, like, with his name the rest of the time I was in New York that week. Like, I was in there for a weekend. He met me that first time. Oh, what party? Y'all want to go to parties? Okay, I'm going to put your name on the list. Hey, you need to go get some food? All right, go to this spot. Tell him I sent you. Like, he just took care of us the rest of the weekend, bro. We all three of us just been stuck together since then. So, rest in peace, Hovain. But dude, man. His impact was immeasurable.
Nah, man, he had a tremendous impact on me. We talk about business, but, you know, just as my friend.
Yeah.
As a guy who I would talk to every day. We went every day. We checked in with each other. When shit got hard, when shit was like, man, I don't know what to do. This business shit is driving me crazy. Like, it's somebody I could talk to, somebody who could help figure things out. Our families know each other. You know, it was just that level of whatever, man. So I love him. I think about him every day, man. And he's just a great guy and really a genius, just fucking brilliant when it came to this business shit.
Facts.
Amazing genius. I remember a week after the funeral, we both was like, yo, this is the longest I've gone without talking to Hovain since I can remember.
Yeah.
Like, it's like he was everybody's best friend. Everybody talked to Hovain every 2 days.
I don't know where he found the time or the energy to invest in so many people. When he passed, that was one of the, like, eye-opening things for me. Like, I knew he was a popular guy, but, and I knew what our relationship was. That was one of my best friends, love him to death. I know that he loved me. And when I started hearing the stories, it was like, how did he have time to hold on to this many relationships and this many meaningful relationships? And he wasn't a fake or phony guy. It wasn't out of fake or phony. It's that he cared about people that much. And checked on people and so.
If he didn't like you, he thought you was corny, he wasn't talking to you.
Yeah.
Under no circumstances.
Absolutely.
Or if you brought somebody around that was fake or corny, he would tell you point blank, I don't rock with that person.
Yeah.
Leave him alone.
Yeah.
But
facts.
We're going to end it off because I know we got to run. I got a couple.
It's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
Couple questions. Who's your favorite interview of all time?
My favorite interview of all time. Shit. That's a tough one.
You can't pick a person. You got to pick an exact interview.
Right.
Because you don't interview Jay-Z 30 times.
Yeah. Probably, fuck, there's so many. My Kendrick Lamar interview for To Pimp a Butterfly.
In the room, y'all was sitting in the room. Yeah, on the gray.
Yeah.
Look at my brain.
It's funny. I tell you something that people don't know. Shout out to Kendrick. I never thought it was cool. I wore glasses all my life. So a lot of times when I would do my on-camera interviews, I would take my glasses off. I can't see. My sister's over there. She's an obstetrician. She work in the eyeglass industry. I'm blind as a bat. My prescription is Stevie Wonder. Like it's bad. So
Stevie Wonder can see?
Yeah. So
you gonna get it here first.
He gonna get a call.
So I would always take my glasses off for interviews. I just thought it looked cooler. It was whatever. And I'm sitting there, I was looking at Kendrick. I'm like, man, should I do glasses on or glasses off? He's like, man, leave your shit on. I was like, nah, you right, dog. And I wear glasses every time after. Wow. Also, my money got up after that.
Yeah, so then you could.
So now I could afford cooler glasses. You know, we got the Cartier frames on. We got, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to my man, Vintage Jewels.
Still get mine from Tara.
Yeah. Nah, so, but, because I think that was a conversation that was so impactful It was so real. It was so honest. It wasn't an exclusive interview. If you look, Kendrick did a couple of interviews that day because he's wearing the same clothes.
Yeah.
But it was the one that stood the test of time. We just had a conversation. Even when it was done, somebody asked me, how'd the interview go? I was like, I don't know. It was just we were just talking. And I was like, I hope people like it, but I don't know if they're going to like I was kind of talking.
You got lost
for
in
me.
the
Yeah, I wanted to just, and so that was a very impactful interview. And I remember that was the album where Kendrick had the Pac interview at the end of Spin for Butterfly. And he weaved himself, so it was almost like a Kendrick and Pac conversation at the end. And I feel like we had a conversation that's just as powerful as the one that he created with him and Pac. And who knows, years down the line, somebody might sample what we did, but who knows? But yeah, that was probably the most impactful. But look, man, there's Mariah Carey, there's the Jay-Z interview that I freestyled on Twitter Spaces for God did when Khaled, because I didn't know Jay was coming into the Spaces. Jay just popped up. So when I interviewed Jay on Spaces with Khaled for God did, when you hear those questions, that was all freestyle, dog. That was I didn't know Jay was coming. I was just as shocked as everybody else. So
wow,
yeah, because I remember that you was like, yo, I got a Spaces with Khaled tomorrow. So I called him after, because of course I logged in and listened. I called, like, why you ain't tell me Hov was coming? I could have missed this.
Yeah, I didn't know Hov was coming. But shout out to Lenny S. They blame Lenny S for that.
Blame Lenny S.
Nah, you know what I mean?
It's so crazy, dog. I just get all these names. I've met these people now. It just feels different.
Yeah.
But worst interview ever.
Rich the Kid.
Why?
Rich the Kid. I was upset. I used to have this interview series at Genius called IRL. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. It was man, listen, man. I'm gonna
gave away too much IP to them, but go ahead.
Yeah. My bad. Man, I got some of the most fucking creative interviews ever. Like from down. This is before IRL, but when we had Janae Aiko, and she said on Post to Be Eat the Booty like groceries. I was at MTV, and me and Janae went grocery shopping and did an interview in the grocery store. And I asked her how, like y'all not fucking with me when it comes to these creative interviews, man.
Talk your shit,
where did
bro.
you take her?
Huh?
It was like a restaurant of her heritage, right?
Oh, for her, yeah, that was a Google. That was a brand deal. So, but we went to a Filipino restaurant in Queens because her is half black, half Filipino, so she wanted to explore that side. And we went in the kitchen. They let us back there. We cooked, you know what I mean, whatever. That food was amazing, man. Shout out to her. That was such a dope interview. But I had this interview series called IRL. You know, one of the episodes I took 21 Savage. This before it's an album. It's coming out, but remember he has the knife tattooed on the middle, you know, on his head, and it's a knife was a meme. So I took him to a blacksmith. First of all, where do you find a blacksmith in this era?
In 2020.
And from raw steel, we created with 21 Savage. It was hot as hell. It was like 120 degrees in there. And it was a block of raw steel. And by the end of the interview, we had the knife, the exact replica of a knife that was tattooed on him.
Jeez.
So that's one. My interviews is different, B. My
interviews is hotter.
So IRL, that was the series. We would do things in real life. We would have deep, meaningful conversations, but we would do things in real life that was connected to the artist. Camila Cabello, who was in Fifth Harmony and went solo, and she's about to drop her first solo album. Me and her, I took her to get her cards read to see what her future holds, because it's uncertain. So it's like, I'm just different.
It's a cheat code. I see all of these.
So, you know, Rich the Kid was somebody who, you know, he had been on Genius a couple of times. He had my number. Rich is just a hustler. I think he reaches out to everybody. Like, he definitely getting where he fit in. Rich make a lot of plays happen for himself, and I respect the hustle. So he would always ask me for an interview. We had him at Genius a couple of times. And when it came time for IRL, I think his team hit me up like, yo, what you doing on Rich the Kid? And I'm like, well, I want to then tell the story of Rich the Kid. Like, I want people to know beyond just the records and the ad-libs, and because he's not a very talkative person. He hadn't opened up much. So they asked me to do the interview. I said, yeah, let's do it. Okay, what's the activity we can do? I said, yo, let's go to a skate park. Because Rich the Kid could fucking skate. We see Lil Wayne skating all the time, and Lil Wayne takes his skating seriously. Rich the Kid is nice. Like, he could fucking skate. I don't know anything about skating, but yo, let's show this side of him. And so he pulled up to the skate park. He ain't want to skate because he had like all the designer shit on, and we kind of said, yo, we gonna skate. He ain't want to skate because I'm like,
did he not know
what we do
beforehand?
He claims he died. I couldn't have been more clear with his team, so I don't know if his team ain't tell him or whatever. So we kind of fake. We use some movie magic. He skates a little bit. We use like Caleb, like, you know, like
some other footage.
Yeah. And we didn't get all the B-roll right. We got enough to just kind of make it look like a thing.
Yeah.
I got on the skateboard. Like, I'm like, all right, show me how to do it. I bust my ass on the ramp, like straight up bust my ass because I can't skate for shit. And I even tell my team, look, we need something to fill this. Yo, keep that in there, me busting my ass. People will love that. Like, I'm trying to save the production.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then we sit down, do the interview, and I'm like, I don't want to kind of tell this story. Look, he was down with QC, kind of branched off on his own. He keeps good relationships. He got like dope features. Like, how do you land the Kendrick feature? Like, Rich is a fucking hustler. Like, Rich gonna get his. So I'm like, I'm trying to tell this story about his come up. And he just wasn't engaged. Like, it just wasn't, he was kind of like answering the questions like with ad-libs instead of whatever. And,
gotcha.
and that interview always like pained me. I was like, man, this is so bad. And we put it out, and it's the internet now, right? When we talk about the internet not discerning what's good versus what's bad, this shit still did 1 million views because he was so popular.
Because he was so popular.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I look at that, I'm like, that's not a good interview. I'm hurt because 1 million people watched it. I was like, I don't want
1 million people saw that.
Yeah, so
that's your sunshine video.
Yeah, man. That damn you, hype. But nah, so that's the one when you say it was the worst interview like that. That's up there for me. That's one I wish I could get back, man. Like I don't force anybody for nothing. Like, a lot of this stuff is like the publicist sets it up or the label sets it up. Like if you sit with me, the artist gotta want to sit with me. Like, and I don't force no. Like, if you don't want to do the interview, let's not do the interview. We ain't gotta force it. But I'm here to talk. I'm not here to do the other shit. Like, when it's time to talk, like let's talk for real, like human beings. And I also understand that's sometimes not where people are in their lives or their career. And that's cool. We don't have to do this. You know what I'm saying? You can go do something else.
Right.
Dream interview that you haven't had.
A dream interview that I haven't had. I still want the Jay-Z, the on camera. Like, every time y'all see me interview Jay, and I've interviewed Jay a bunch of times, it's been MTV, so I've been off camera. And
I think the last one I saw was Made in America.
Yeah. There's a lot of classic Jay clips or a lot of news that broke, and people don't even realize it was me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm on the other side of the camera, and then we did a couple Twitter Spaces ones and red carpet joints and whatever. But my dream interview is probably that sit down across like me and Jay, just like and I think I still believe, I know this for a fact. It's going to be questions he's never been asked before.
Right.
It's going to be things that he's never talked about. Because now we're in this place where things are just, people are just rehashing the same questions, the same stories. Like, I have this joke that every 5 years, every 3 years, the internet resets. You could tell the same story. I could ask the same questions 3 years later, and the internet is going to treat it like it's brand new.
Right.
That's why I would love when B-Dot did that whole list of stop asking this person this, stop asking this person this.
Me and B-Dot talked about that all the time. But you sit me down with Hov, I guarantee you're going to see something that you've never seen before. You're going to be privy to conversation that you've never seen before. And hopefully for him as well, I think he would enjoy it. Like, oh, shit, nobody's ever asked me this. Oh, this hasn't been the perspective. Oh, and he'll be engaged. So I would love to, for me, that's the dream kind of interview, is to sit down with Hov. Give me like an hour.
Yeah.
I love you to life, bro. You get that interview and don't tell me. It's gonna be a tough week for our friendship, dog. Like, I know they top secret security clearance and all of that. I gotta be there. I don't even want to be on. I don't need to be seen by the BTS person. Nothing. I just want to be there. Last one for me. What's something that you haven't accomplished in this game or in life that you know you will accomplish that you haven't got to yet?
It's rap shit. I think what I'm doing as an artist, I don't think people get it. Still, I think people still think it's a part-time thing. I think people still think it's a hobby. It's a whatever, and part of that maybe is my fault. In terms of, I've been releasing every 2 years, but somebody had asked me before. They was like, "Yo, would you ever be an artist full time?" And somebody who work in the business, and my man, would you ever be an artist full time? And I'm like, I am. Like, you don't see. I was like, yo, I got 3 albums. I'm working on my 4th album
in 6 years.
I got 20 outside those albums. There's 20 singles, like that just exist. I was like, my output is just as much or more than some of just guys who do rap.
Do nothing but rap.
Yeah. But yeah, what I want to accomplish is, and I think will happen. I don't even know if I'll be here to see it, but I think when it's all said and done, people will kind of look at what I did musically and look at the story that I told and what the goal and the aim, and I think it'll click and be like, oh. And I think people will kind of go back and listen and start to put pieces together. I don't know when it's gonna happen. It might not even be in my time, but that's the goal is to have the music connect in a way with just people who need it. And there definitely are people now. Like there's absolutely a fan base. There's absolutely people who I speak to every day. I'm active with my listeners who DM me, yo, what did you mean by this? Or yo, I was having a bad day and I listened to this song, and oh, now I get what you meant when you said this because I just went through it. Da 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 da. I'm having those conversations with people every day behind the scenes, But I want to see it kind of connect more.
I'm still mad Easy Money Sniper didn't get the credit it deserved.
Yeah.
It was a great record.
That was a great record. Damn, and you don't hinge it on anything, but I'm like, KD, man, like, what up? Like,
right.
Like, people were hitting me like, yo, did you send this to Kevin Durant? Like, yo, I'm gonna send it to his brother. Yo, I'm gonna send this to this. I'm gonna send this to Rich Kleiman. I'm gonna send it. But it's whatever. That it was just a metaphor. It's obviously Easy Money Sniper is about Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
In a way, but it was really just a metaphor for just perseverance and going to get it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that
it had it had every element.
Mm-hmm.
It had every element. And I probably know at least the album records. I probably know your album better than as well as you do.
Yeah.
Right? But I just think, do you think you have to do like the Jay-Z, I'm gonna retire and go be the president thing? Like, do you think you have to be single focused to focus the audience?
Maybe, like maybe that's the path to success, but I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to limit myself because Jay didn't never limit himself. Like Jay, you don't think?
No, I'm just saying from a market. Like even with Joe saying, I'm not a rapper no more, so people would take him serious.
I get it. Yeah. No, I get that. And a lot of people told me, like, yo, you got to jump into this full time for people to take you seriously. Maybe, but like, what I'm going to do, not write a comic book and Marvel calls? Like, like I love that too. What I'm going to do, what I'm doing with Genius Distro right now and just with the distro game and the artists I'm signing, this is me taking my platform. Like, first of all, these deals, they're business deals, right? But these are still independent deals. I'm not stealing from artists. We're not robbing artists. We're not cheating artists. The value that you fucking get.
And you're giving more than independent deals.
Right. And so what I'm saying is I got this, what I'm not supposed to do, not shine this light. When I see somebody that I like and I believe in them, I'm not supposed to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know no other way but just to get it. It's 24 hours in the day and we're not singular people. So I don't think there'll ever be a time where you're just going to see me. I spent mad years being a journalist, and that was all I was allowed to do. Mm-hmm. Now my shit gotten so big that it's opened me up into other arenas.
Right.
I'm not going back. It doesn't mean that I love rapping any less. It doesn't mean that I love journalism any less.
I could walk and chew gum.
Yeah, it all stems from the same shit. So for me, people just going to have to get used to it. And if not, and if that's what it takes, and it'd be like, yo, Rob, you know why you never got a gold plat? You know why you never got a platinum plat? You know why you never did a Grammy? It's because you didn't just give the people just music and that's it. And I'm not willing to make that trade-off. So I'm cool with leaving the gold and platinum plaque. Like for me anyway, the reward is in the creation of the music. Like, you know what I'm saying? Being able to take a thought or a feeling and then going to the studio with that thought or feeling and coming out with a record that could live forever. Everything else is just a bonus for me.
I appreciate you, bro.
Me too, man. This has been great, bro. For real.
I've been waiting on this. Hoban was our first guest.
Yeah.
I've been trying, and it's only scheduling. Like, you've been willing to do this. I'm glad we finally got it done. I could do a whole another 2 hours.
Word.
But I love you. I appreciate you.
Love you too, man.
And you are the legend that everybody else knows you are, even if you don't live in that space.
Nah, I appreciate that.
I appreciate it,
My
bro.
man. Love.
Be a change agent, you gotta be 2 things. You gotta be aware and you gotta be inspired. Go change something. I'm Trav.
I'm Caleb.
We out.
We out.